A favorite memory of mine is from one Saturday morning in 1970. My mom was at work, my dad was out washing the car, and I was inside listening to the radio as always. It was about 10 a.m., and it was either KQV in Pittsburgh or WHOT from Youngstown on the radio. And Lola came on. It was brand new, first time I'd ever heard that Kinks song. No sooner did it end than the phone rang. It was my friend Albert. And I said, "Did you hear that?" And he said, "Yeah, that's why I called." Well, back then, radio created a shared experience. We all heard the same things at the same time. That happened a lot, but that was the best reminder I could think of regarding that. But what a great song. And when you could remember the first time you heard it, that's how good the music was. It created a shared experience. We all heard the new things at the same time. The movie American Graffiti kind of nails that too, with Wolfman Jack's character. That interactive personal touch, like a community, everybody's listening. You could call in the radio station, make dedications, talk with real DJs, and they would announce you on the radio sometimes. I think Tom Petty's best album is The Last DJ, which is just about the disappearance of the DJs from radio. I think it's one of his best albums, and I never hear a thing about it, but it's a masterpiece. I like it better than Damn the Torpedoes. A variation of what was going on back then in the 60s and 70s was the Ed Sullivan Show. That was about the only place to see music other than Dick Clark's American Bandstand. But once a week, everybody watched, and it was the first time many of us heard the Beatles, Stones, Dave Clark 5, Byrds, Steppenwolf, Doors, and everybody heard them all together at the same time. A little bit later, Saturday Night Live used to premiere some good stuff. That's where I first saw Elvis Costello, Devo, Huey Lewis in the News, and a bunch of others, even Lana Del Rey, who a lot of people hate, but it really turned me on. Well, there's more choices now with the internet, but it just means everyone's listening to different things. There's no common connection or bond. It's totally impersonal, and the community thing's gone. But not living in the past, got to deal with it, so let's go make some music on the web. Go listen to TRYGESIS. Yeah, last week I did part 1 of the video series called Moody Music, because I need something to bring me down to earth a little bit. I get a little too buoyant. But the last time I mentioned I need poignant, even depressing music to bring me down to earth. And here's some more of it. I make playlists. It kind of lets you go and stay in the vibe. And you can weed out songs that are just too optimistic. Anyway, more of the story here. Specifics like Brian Wilson. Yeah, all the Beach Boys stuff is great. It's pretty cheery, though. But on his own solo version of Smile, his version of Surf's Up and Child is Father to the Man are just beautiful. They're better than the Beach Boys versions. And he has a solo album with a song called Cry on it. I think it's called Imagination. That's a good song, too. Steely Dan has a surprising number of real moody, dark, depressing songs. They're fantastic. Kind of helped me get into the idea of L.A. Night by Night, King of the World, Throwback to Little Ones, Dirty Work, Kid Charlemagne, Your Gold Teeth 2, and Here at the Western World are great examples. Something about the counterplay of the instruments, often horns. And I'm not a horn guy, but they knew how to do it to where I could really appreciate it. I think the deepest gloom I've ever found in my life on a song was Laura Nyro from New York Tendaberry, You Don't Love Me When I Cry, the opening track. I first heard it on a rainy June afternoon. Whew, it was perfect. Talk about a downer. But it's just basking in the depths of gloom. Surprising, again, might be Mark Knopfler in Dire Straits. They did a string of gorgeous, melancholy, ominous, gloom-drenched beauties. Telegraph Road, Private Investigations, Brothers in Arms, You and Your Friend, Planet of New Orleans, On Every Street, and Fade to Black are the best examples. There are more. But, man, I could just put those on a playlist and drive all night. In fact, for having a mood-altering playlist, listen in the dark or on a long night drive. Next thing you know, it's morning and all your ghosts are gone.
The sand glows in the moonlight and glistens like a starry sky. Our footsteps trace a private space, creates a boundary for a place that only we can share. We hide behind the raindrops and float above the treetops, then swooping low to steal the show for fireflies flitting to and fro. Our sparks fall like the snow. Moonlight dance, graceful glide, float across the earth to quench love's thirst. Our spirits side by side, flying through the night. We blend into a shadow, descend into a meadow, then run around on open ground, then jump into a forest with a lovely sound that only we can hear. Moonlight dance, graceful glide, float across the earth to quench love's thirst. Our spirits side by side, flying through the night. We take some time to chase the roaming night clouds and twirl inside where no one will ever see. We let the wind take us where it wants to, never coming back, 'cause we are free. We are free. Moonlight dance, a graceful glide, float across the earth to quench love's thirst. Our spirits side by side, flying through the night. The sand glows in the moonlight and glistens like a starry sky.